Alright guys, welcome back to Center Stage, your weekly deep dive into the best of what theater has to offer. Today we're talking about the woman who put the soul into a legendary sound. We are shining a spotlight on The Drifter's Girl, the smash hit musical about the iconic vocal group. Well, not just about them. It's the thrilling untold story of Faye Treadwell, this trailblazing black female manager who took on the music industry and the courts to save the name of the Drifters, fighting for over 3 full decades of their legacy. Now, The Drifter's Girl is a jukebox musical with a book by Ed Curtis and featuring the music of R&B vocal group The Drifters. Based on the story of the Drifters and their manager Faye Treadwell, the musical mainly focuses on the world's first African-American female music manager, who took over the group's management after her husband George Treadwell died in 1967. Now, the story chronicles the many challenges that she faced, most notably the group's famously revolving door lineup of over 60 members in its history, which she successfully redefined as an enduring brand. Now, fun fact here, a major thread in the show is Faye's decades-long legal battle to protect the group's name from rival fraudulent groups. She repeatedly insisted that, like the New York Yankees, the name belongs to the organization she created. The creative process for The Drifter's Girl was unique because it specifically focused on the story of the manager, Faye Treadwell, rather than just the band, and it involved close collaboration with her family and the cast. The musical's journey to the stage followed a distinctive path for a jukebox musical, as it prioritized the narrative of a single woman and the brand of the group over the biography of one star. The core concept came from Faye's daughter, Tina Treadwell. When writer Ed Curtis expressed interest in writing a musical about the Drifters, Tina insisted, if you're going to tell the story of the group, you really want to tell the story of my mother. Well, this shifted the focus from a typical band bio-musical to a narrative about the manager, her resilience, and the legal fight for the group's legacy. The book, or the script, was penned by Ed Curtis and based on Tina Treadwell's idea, ensuring the family's approval and the direct insight into Faye's life, which involved decades of intense work and personal sacrifice. Now, a significant element of the creative process was the involvement of the original West End cast, particularly Beverly Knight, and the 4 actors who played her various drifters. They are officially credited as co-creators, suggesting they had a hand in shaping the characterizations and the dynamic stage presence of the show. Now, director Jonathan Church and the design team created a slick, fast-paced staging. They used minimal moving set pieces, often desks and flats, combined with dynamic video projections to rapidly switch between the numerous locations and eras covered, such as recording studios, courtrooms, and the touring venues. Now, bringing this show to life presented specific narrative and logistical challenges, many of which are often cited in reviews of the production. The musical covers over 3 decades of Faye Treadwell's life and the constantly revolving door of the Drifters lineup, over 60 members. The creative team had to rapidly move through major historical and personal events, from her meeting her husband George and his death, to numerous lineup changes and the legal battles. Critics sometimes noted that this fast pace made for some powerful emotional moments, such as George's death or Faye's struggle with motherhood, feel kind of rushed or underdeveloped in the script. Well, as a jukebox musical featuring one of the world's most recognizable song catalogs, the team also wrestled with the balance between Faye's complex personal story and delivering the famous songs the audience came to hear. Well, some critics felt that the iconic music segments occasionally overshadowed Faye's story, despite the intention to put her at the center. The show has a very small core cast, one lead as Faye, and the only 4 actors playing all the various Drifters members and dozens of other characters: producers, lawyers, family, hotel clerks, and yes, even celebrity cameos like Nat King Cole. The 4 actors playing the Drifters had to execute extremely rapid costume and character changes while maintaining flawless harmonies and choreography. While the actors were widely praised for their skill, this choice was sometimes noted as creating a confusing timeline for audience members who were trying to keep track of the rapidly changing Drifter lineup, which was the very subject of the show. Now, the most significant choice was using only 4 male actors to play every single Drifter, and all other male and some female characters throughout the decades. Now, in between musical numbers, the same 4 men instantly transformed into lawyers, record executives, hotel clerks, songwriters, and even figures like Nat King Cole. This demanded incredible versatility, vocal dexterity, because they're also switching accents, and physical skill. Instead of elaborate, time-consuming changes, the costume design focused on minimalist signifiers for character changes. This meant that the actors literally often wore the same foundational suit or a variation of a suit for much of the show. A character change was often denoted by the addition or removal of a single item. A fedora or a distinctive cap was a common way to denote a shift to a new character. A change in the jacket, from a dark suit to a shimmering satin one or a specific color jacket, would signal a new Drifters lineup or a transition to an executive, or even a simple shift in voice, accent, or posture, rather than a full costume change, was often enough to signal a transition to a different character, sometimes even a female one. Well, the set designed by Anthony Ward was deliberately abstract and versatile to facilitate these rapid changes. The stage itself utilized a minimalist design of geometric blocks and vertical or horizontal panels that could be moved, opened, or lit in different ways. This pretty much allowed the space to instantly morph from a smoky jazz club to a recording studio. Video design by Andrew Golding was crucial. Dynamic video and lighting were projected onto the set pieces, instantly establishing the time, place, and mood. For instance, a backdrop of retro graphics or a specific city skyline could establish an entire touring scene without the need for large physical scenery. Now, by relying on the actors' talent, quick costume cues, and an abstract set design supported by video, the production was able to maintain the lightning-fast pace necessary to cover the Drifters' long and complex history, keeping the focus squarely on Faye Treadwell's perpetual battle to keep the name alive, regardless of who was singing in the lineup. Now, the musical made its world premiere at the Theatre Royal in Newcastle in October of 2021, before transferring into London's West End, where it would play a limited 4-month run at the Garrick Theatre. The world premiere run and the subsequent transfer to the Garrick Theatre in London featured the same core principal cast for the first several months. The core cast included Beverly Knight, known as the Queen of British Soul and an acclaimed West End star, Olivier Award winner for Dreamgirls, Mr. Adam J. Bernard, Olivier Award winner for Kinky Boots, Mr. Matt Henry, and the original star of both Dreamgirls and The Lion King, Mr. Tosh Wanoga-Maud. Now, this cast was often praised for its seamless vocal ability and the versatility required for the 4 men to play over 60 different Drifters members and numerous supporting characters. My, oh my. The London debut of the Drifters Girl was a highly anticipated event, particularly because of its starring role. The production itself was built around Queen of British Soul herself, Beverly Knight, who starred as the trailblazing manager Faye Treadwell. Her performance was widely praised and earned her an Olivier Award nomination for Best Actress in a Musical. As noted previously, the 4 actors playing the Drifters were also credited as co-creators. They delivered powerhouse vocal performances that became a major critical and audience draw. Now, it's important, guys, to note that the London debut was delayed due to the global pandemic. However, despite its run being pushed back, the show successfully transferred the momentum and excitement from its Newcastle tryout, cementing its place in the West End schedule. The musical's legacy in the West End is characterized by its star power, incredible vocal quality, and innovative staging, though its lasting impact on the narrative form of the genre is more debated. The show's most powerful legacy is shifting the focus of the band musical genre away from the lead singers and on to the female African-American manager, Faye. This offered a new vital perspective highlighting themes of business tenacity, legal battles, sexism, and racism in the music industry. The combined vocal prowess of Beverly Knight and the four co-creators who played the Drifters was universally praised. Many critics and audiences called it one of the most vocally impressive casts seen on the West End stage in recent memory. The show's creative team, especially director Jonathan Church and video designer Andre Golding, established a reputation for highly polished, fast-paced staging. The clever use of a small, versatile cast and dynamic video projections to cover decades, along with 60-plus band members, was noted as creative triumph of efficiency. Now, while the show was an undeniable commercial hit and boasted a world-class cast, critical reviews suggested that it set the bar high for performance and technical design, but not necessarily for narrative depth in the jukebox genre. The vocals and energy for the core six cast members were praised as flawless and electrifying, which set a very high standard for the sheer versatility and vocal power required of a small cast. The focus of successfully centering a female manager's story in a male-dominated genre offered a fresh, complex perspective that differentiates it from biopics focused on the singer and star. While the show becomes debatable in its reviews, critics often found Ed Curtis's book too episodic and fast-paced, rushing through major events like George's death or the racial struggles to fit in the songs and cover the long history. This led critics to say that the show did not fully overcome the typical jukebox musical challenge of balancing hit songs with dramatic depth, leaving some characters, well, underdeveloped. In conclusion, though, The Drifters Girl left a legacy in the West End as a spectacular showcase of talent and slick modern staging. It successfully proved that a jukebox musical could center a powerful, non-singing female figure. However, if the bar is set by shows like Hamilton or Come From Away, where the narrative structure itself is innovative, The Drifters Girl remains a fantastic but structurally traditional piece that prioritizes music and performance over deep, dramatic engagement. And that, guys, is our deep dive into the powerhouse that is The Drifters Girl. Look, is the pacing dizzying? At times, yes. Does the script sometimes rush through decades of history to fit in the next big hit? Absolutely. But the raw talent on that stage is undeniable. The four men who play the Drifters are a masterclass in vocal harmony and character switching, and the lead, whether it's been Beverly Knight, Felicia Boswell, or any other famous woman, grounds the entire experience with her passion, strength, and an unmistakable voice that brings the house down each and every night. This musical sets the bar high for performance. It tells a vital story of a woman's fight against sexism and racism, and it ultimately leaves you feeling up on the roof with joy. You walk away with those songs, Under the Boardwalk, Save the Last Dance for Me, and Stand By Me, stuck firmly in your head. But more importantly, you walk away knowing the name Faye Treadwell. Guys, if you're a fan of the music, or if you simply want to see six of the most talented people in theater put on an electrifying show, you need to grab yourself a ticket. It's truly a testament to the fact that when you're dealing with legends, they are more than a number in a little red book. Although the show has closed in London and is no longer touring, it doesn't mean it won't possibly retour or even open up at a regional theater near you. Guys, I want to give you an early happy Thanksgiving to you all. May you all have a joyous day with friends and family, eating lots of turkey and maybe even some of that sweet potato pie. Guys, we are up to 317 subscribers. Thank you so much for your continued effort in pushing this channel out to people who not only can benefit, but people who need theater in their lives. As you leave this podcast and as Faye watched her guys leave the stage for the final time in the musical, there's always a quiet, hopeful acknowledgement of what was. You go, have your moment, chase your dream, but don't forget the name you helped build, and maybe, just maybe, you can keep all the wonderful memories and all of the incredible songs. Thanks for dancing with us this week on Center Stage. We'll see you next time.